So morning everyone, it is day 59, we've got stage 60 to run today. I'm in the car with my two besties. We're off, we're driving, we've got a long way to go. Well, the drive to the start's getting longer. I think it's like been an hour and a half at least for this trip back up from where we're staying. But today we've got 30 miles to run. On paper, on the plan, was supposed to be 25, but I'm going to take 5 out of one of the longer days that are coming up, so they become short. I'm going to try and even out all the remainder of the runs down to sort of like 30 milers, which means I'd have about 8 30 milers left to go. And yeah, today I'm tired actually. I feel sort of mentally tired. If I'm honest, today's one of the days I at least wanted to run, but the funny thing is sometimes when that is the case, when you get out there and start moving, that's when you run best. So I never sort of try not to judge it too much by how you feel right now. See how it goes when we start moving. Either way, doesn't matter. I've got to do the miles anyway, so that's one thing. It doesn't really matter how you feel, you just got to keep trucking forward. Meeting Tim at 8 to start, and he's going to run with me today as well. We've got a ferry crossing today mixed in, so those are always fun. And the weather looks nice and clear. Looks like it's going to be fairly bright, a bit less kind of gloom than we've had the past couple of days, but obviously, yeah, hopefully not too hot. I think we'll be warm and it'll be good running conditions today. I also think we're going to hack along the river again. Looks like the course runs pretty close to the Danube, so hopefully that means nice kind of river paths and good views as well. We're very rural where we finished yesterday, so hopefully that will be the same as well. Body, there's tiredness there, but no more than sort of yesterday. No, the grumbles that I've been carrying for the past 2 weeks are the same really. You just got to listen to your body. Sometimes something will twinge and I just ease back or slow down and have a little walk, and more often than not that has made it go away, or it's moved to something else and decided to whinge instead. So yeah, day 59, I mean, it seems mental to have nearly done 60, or the equivalent of 60 marathons in 60 days. But we are closing in now on the end. I mean, after this one we'll have just a week to go. 1 week's more running and we'll reach the source. Even starting to have a look at the route that I'm going to take to get into the town to find the monument which marks the end of the run. Because the last thing I want to do is be doing zigzags and weaving around Donau-Eschingen trying to find the place that I'm supposed to finish. So I'm going to start getting my head into that. Yeah, am I thinking properly about the finish just yet? Not quite. Still 240 miles to go, and that is still a very long way, and there's still some big long runs to do back to back. So yeah, just get out there, get this one done, and we'll see where we are tomorrow. But yeah, anyway, that's the update for the morning. I will let you know how it goes along the route and give you an update once it's all done, because it is going to be done no matter what happens. The end of this run today is inevitable, so I will see you later. So I am, what am I? I'm 25 miles in. About 2 miles ago, I picked up Darcy. It's my nephew, also key member of our crew. Darcy, you'll know I dedicated a video to a little while back. Not a video, I dedicated a run to him. And Darcy's been supporting me when I do my ultras for ages. What a pleasure he's actually come out and he's doing a couple miles with me today along the Danube. We're trying to get some extra miles done today. So Darcy's come for those. And then somewhere back there, we've got Riley as well, but he's telling us to go on, he's going to catch us. I think he's basically going to let us get a little way ahead and then he's going to sprint after us. But moving well, and yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be out with us and to have Riley and that with us. So I don't keep saying us, like I'm more than one person. With me. Anyway, we better crack on and get this run finished today. So today's run I wanted to dedicate to two people. That is my niece and my nephew, Lauren and Bailey. Now, both of you guys have inspired me in different ways. Start with Bailey. Bazza, I've watched you since such a small age pursue a dream of becoming a professional footballer with such dedication and commitment, sacrifice, determination, single-mindedness. And, you know, I remember times when it was very, very hard and the chips were down and, you know, you had doubts about this dream. And I remember conversations I had with you about it. And do you know what? I watched you at times when I thought personally I might have stopped. And you didn't. You got back into difficult situations and you cracked on through. And it's just impressive to watch what you've become. I mean, you've achieved something that so many people dream of. And I think so many people think it just partly comes with just being given some kind of talent that makes you lucky. I've watched you, mate, and I've watched you work. I've watched you give up other things that other people take for granted. I've continued to see you work to be the best football player that you can be. Beyond that, you're just a lovely bloke. Humble, down to earth, grounded, and an absolute pleasure. So proud to be your uncle. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, Baz. You've inspired me no end, and it's been wonderful to have your support out here. Lauren, you are an absolute legend to me in so many ways. That you have, you know, I watched kind of what you've grown into from a young girl, and the life that you're leading, and the human being that you've become. How caring, how kind, how funny, how full of life. And, you know, some of the things that you've said to me over WhatsApp whilst I've been out here doing this, the inspiration you've given me. And one moment during this journey as well, which I'm not going to go into details, but you know what I'm talking about, where the chips are really down for me and you came to my rescue. And this was something that might have stopped the whole trip. And you did something for me and my family that I'll never ever forget. And I'm just so proud of the human being that you are, Loz. So proud to be your uncle. You're a constant source of inspiration and motivation for me, and yeah, I know that you will pursue your dreams with exactly the same kind of commitment and dedication as Baz. Those dreams are different, but you're achieving them anyway. And yeah, I'm proud of you both. I'm really proud to be your uncle. And thank you for everything you've done helping me do what I'm doing out here. Keep doing what you're doing, and everything that you want will be yours.
Alright, so I'm filming you now.
Yeah, well done. I mean, it was, what was it in the end? You did 24 and a half, 25?
Yeah.
25 miles.
Amazing.
But also, yesterday, 20 miles after the furthest you run was 17.
Yeah.
And then to go and do 24 on top of that is incredible, straight out off the bat like that. Basically did his biggest ever distance and then followed that up with his biggest ever distance day after day, man. Absolute legend, ran like a hero.
Yeah, brilliant.
Helped me along the way, basic, great company. And my favourite bit was when you said, go on, off you go. Just because you knew, like I could sense, no, it's always nice, it gives me the freedom just to go and do what I've got to do. So a little bit of a different roundup today, because today is actually day 60 and yesterday's run, day 59. I finished obviously, but I was a bit tired last night, so I didn't get the chance to do the wrap up, but I'm now on my one and only rest day. This is the day that I banked earlier in the run by doing 2 stages in one. And I've decided to use that as a full rest day rather than taking some miles and splitting them over 2 days. So here I am, it's now 1 o'clock and I haven't done any running today. And I'm feeling a bit on edge. I sort of woke up at the sort of regular time anyway, was up and down here by sort of 6 in the morning. And I've been full of energy today. Like just, I don't know, could have cleaned the house 4 times over. It's kind of how I feel. I feel sort of mentally alert. I feel physically kind of, yeah, I don't know, just like I've got pent up energy. I guess it's sort of feels like a couple of days after you've done a marathon or something, or a long ultra, you sort of have that, the mind is kind of switched on and whirring, and the body, you know, maybe not after an ultra you don't feel sort of energized, but I do have this sort of similar feeling. And yesterday's run, where I ran with Tim, I ended up doing 29 miles. Tim did 24. That was Tim's longest ever run, and he did that one day after doing his longest ever run the day before. So he'd run 17 miles prior to coming out here, then did a 19 and then did a 24 something, which is a sterling effort, you know, really Herculean effort. And that, you know, I guess coming shortly after Ray had done 100 kilometers plus, pushing himself, was great to witness. And yeah, what a run. I mean, he just put his head down, got on with it, no complaining, ran really well. And I think, you know, I was sort of pushing the paces a little bit, to be honest, but he held it and he stayed with me, locked in, and I could hear it, you know, I could see the effort going into it. And then right at the end, I moved off a little bit and he followed up behind, but a brilliant run. I guess we had some beautiful scenery, beautiful countryside to run through. Germany has started to become very, very beautiful. We ran through one gorge that reminded me of the Danube bends. It had this feeling of kind of the high kind of walls of green and these kind of paths cutting right on the river that were bending round through the gorge. It was absolutely beautiful. You know, the day started out relatively cool, was good running conditions, got a bit warm later on. One point we kind of ventured off onto a bit of trail. We did like 1.5 kilometers with a bit of climbing and then a bit of rolling back down, which I wasn't expecting, and that's far from ideal for the tendons, but we managed it sort of carefully. Got a nice little flat bit along the top through some woods as well. And I think just a really nice mix of kind of paved sort of tarmac paths and sort of slightly gravelly off-road paths. Some of the dyke roads, you know, hadn't been paved, so we were able to run along almost like the grass and the stones. And I just enjoyed yesterday's run. It took a while to get into it. I was feeling tired in the morning in the car on the way there. I didn't feel at it at all. I actually sort of tried to get some sleep. We had about an hour and a half from our accommodation to the start point, so those were getting longer. And yeah, I really wasn't feeling it. And I had to dig myself actually, and actually having Tim alongside me and us doing that, moving together, I think genuinely really kind of helped me sort of ease into the run and find momentum. And yeah, we just had sort of chats and we had a few walks, and yeah, it was really good. And then after a while, I think everything kind of loosened off, and maybe sort of from sort of 10, 11, 12 miles onwards, I sort of started to find my rhythm, and then ran really well. Up till sort of 2021. I could have gone on longer yesterday, to be honest. I did extra miles, so I've taken a bit of a chunk out of the next day because I've got 3 days that are still in the diary here, which are going to be supposed to be a 43, a 39 and a 37, one after the other. Now the idea is I'm going to try and take some chunks out of those on some of the shorter days that I've got, and that was starting with yesterday's run. I think I managed to get maybe 4 miles out of it, so that's a pretty good chunk. And then on the way back in the car, so I got very, very hot. I don't know, just felt really odd for a bit. I basically span out and got really dizzy, really sweaty. Had to get the car to pull over and jump out and sort of lie on the grass for a bit. I think I just got too hot and overheated and hadn't eaten and what have you. So I had a funny moment there, but I think when we got back to the accommodation after, again, another hour and a half drive back, I think that was when I sort of thought about it carefully. I thought, actually, do you know what? This is the time now to take the rest day. It just felt like a smart move. I hope it sort of pans out that way. I don't really know. The body obviously is used to moving every day. And I'm just hoping that when you stop, it doesn't start to sort of repair or whatever, or it doesn't feel sluggish when I go back at it tomorrow. But so I'm here with the family, just kicking about and having, some really good food. I'm making sure I continue to kind of restock and refuel. I'll go for a bit of a walk later and going to go into Passau with the family. We're about 15 minutes from Passau and do some things that are normal, have a bit of normal life just for one day. And then, tomorrow we'll be back at it. We've got a 25 on the calendar, but I think I'm going to try and maybe take out 30. I think even potentially, if I feel like it, I might take a 35. And we'll just see how we feel. Obviously, I can flex a bit now because we've got the car and I can just run to how I feel. But basically, I've got 7 days, I think, to do 240 miles. It may be a little bit less than that. But so there's still a long, long way to go. But I feel good, really. Waking up and feeling eager to run, really. I could have run this morning and that's a good sign, I wasn't sort of so broken that I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm not running today. Actually, I was thinking, if this accommodation had been closer to the route, then I probably would have gone and done 5 or 10 miles and that would have been fine. But I can't believe we're into the last week. I mean, it feels like only yesterday that I started, but also weirdly like a whole other lifetime before. It's got this weird thing where time is compressing and elongating and doing kind of strange things at once. Like 3 hours to me now doesn't feel very long at all in terms of time running, but other things feel like they happened a long time ago. It's a very odd feeling. Like there's not so much of an anchor point, but everything's feels a bit more fluid. I don't know. It's not quite so sort of. There's a rhythm to what I'm doing, but I don't know. Not such a kind of regimented feeling. I don't feel kind of rushed and. It's funny. I think it's quite hard to describe, but did a little chat to the Runners World podcast this morning. So that'll come out sometime, I think, later in the week, which is great. It was fun to sort of talk to some colleagues and that stuff or people that I've worked with in the past I haven't spoken to for ages. It felt a little bit like going back into my old life, my pre-run life, chatting like that. But that was really good. And I just want to ease it down now. I just want to land this thing. That's my only, nothing crazy, no stupidity, no ego, just that comes so far that I just need to be very careful and just to make sure that I can take this one home. I feel confident. I feel pumped. I'm not sure I'm ready for it to end, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to getting to Donaueschingen and touching that stone and being finished. But I just want to say as well, just a massive thanks to everyone who supported me to get me to this point with, 7 days to go. All of you who've put comments down here in the bottom of YouTube, all of you wonderful comments of support and encouragement. And I've read all of them. I've replied to as many as I possibly can. And every single one of them has helped me. And sometimes more than you might think when I've been sat in a hotel room at 4:30 in the morning, having my breakfast and wondering whether or not I can go out today, or I've got the energy or the enthusiasm or the motivation. And I look down and I've got a comment from you guys all sort of getting behind me and wishing me luck. And, those things definitely, they gave me the motivation to get out there and do it. So, I just want to say a massive thanks, and I really appreciate all of it. You've been with me on the journey, basically, and I want to say thanks for sticking with it, and let's go and get this thing finished.